Well, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but I hear what you're asking. To go in, if you're not in school, you have to go in with the idea that because chiropractic education is fear inducing, is um, in that again we get bombarded with so much mechanistic medical ideas, and again they have value in the world, but for us I think they create even more interference to what we were just talking about, to our ability to live innately, to live from our heart, because we again our heads are just overloaded, and we're only, just like all through our education, even from kindergarten, we're judged on the basis of what our heads can spout back. So it's just really a continuation of all that, but even more so because it relates to what we're going to be doing. And in my school in particular, I mean, there is some variation probably among the schools in this aspect, but in mine it was like, don't do this, don't handle this, refer this out. It was more about what you couldn't do than what you could do, and of course that's not filling you with a lot of confidence, and not helping to overcome your fear. So going in, if you could go in knowing that's what's going to happen, and stay connected to people who know otherwise. I mean, Sigafus's daughter went to Life University, which is considered one of the better, more vitalistic, more chiropractic, from a historical standpoint, schools. And she came back halfway through the program and said to her dad, you're going to have to teach me chiropractic all over again. So it's a challenge. But again, if that's the deal, then you can put it in perspective, and you can know that they're there to teach you what the government and what the political boards have said is necessary for us to have a license. That's pretty much what it's about. And learn what you can, because it's fun to learn, and file it away, because again it'll always be there to back you up. And I enjoyed, in the back of my mind, like, people would come in, and even though we didn't talk about their symptoms that much, they would tell me about stuff that was going on, and I would, my diagnosis, which I wouldn't even share with them, would be right 99% of the time. Right, even though they've been going to doctors for years trying to figure it out. For some reason I felt like I could have been a better medical doctor than the medical doctors, but I just kept that in the back of my mind. So whatever you want to do with that information, it can be supportive and can be helpful, but to know that that's not really the core of it, and that if you can stay connected to the core of it through chiropractors, or through groups that you can have in school, or through clubs, keep the principle of the thing, keep the why as front and center in your awareness as possible, because they're going to try shoving it further back in your awareness, and to some degree, in order to pass the exams and stuff, you do have to give it a lot of focus and attention. So that's what I would suggest. But Ben, I would also say that whatever your path is, like I went through all that, and I had to unlearn a lot, but I think that was a huge part of my path. So what if you can hold a vision, which I didn't have until later, you'll get there. Even if it seems like you've taken detours, sometimes those detours are a big part of the path. People ask me, like, if you could go back in time and tell yourself something 35 years ago, that you didn't know, my usual answer to that is I wouldn't have listened. So why do I bother? I'm not going to bother trying to even think of something that I could have said, because I would have laughed at it, or I would have said, whatever, that doesn't apply to me. Hopefully there are people who are not as far gone as I was, and can, take some of this and steer themselves in a direction that feels more congruent and heartful for them. But, whatever you go through is probably what you need to go through, is what I would say.